Hello, 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 everybody. Maris Rey, Water Dragon Extraordinaire. Back at you again with another Genshin Impact live stream. So, if you weren't able to be present during my polling stream last night, I did end up pulling Kazuha. C2. Fully invested to him like promised. I do not regret it, even in the slightest. I've been playtesting him just a bit, on stream and off, just to get a real feel for the guy, you know. And I gotta tell ya, he's pretty nasty. Like I mentioned before, his elemental mastery is pretty high. So it's obviously not the highest, but it's okay for considering the rest of his stats. 172 ER with Iron Sting, I think is really good as a base level to start. And the interesting thing about Genshin Impact is everything that you have now could always get better. So, and that's not even to say with things like just artifacts, but because the game's going to continue to evolve, albeit maybe a bit slowly, there's always potential for there to be new domains for artifacts, new weapons that are released, new supports that are released that can synergize with older characters in a way that wasn't previously available, that can make an older character slightly better. Which is why I think it's relevant to have as many characters as you can, because eventually, even if you don't have their best in slot weapon right now, they might get a new one later on and you'll be prepared to get that one later on, right? I know I say this after investing quite a bit into this Kazuha for absolutely no reason, but there was a reason. It was just, I really wanted to. That was it. That's the only reason. Okay, so let me take a quick look to see what's to do today. We're not going to worry about Beto yet. Oh no, maybe we will worry about Beto. Let's worry more about Fischl. So let me see. I'm using, like I said, the Ascension Planner website, the Genshin Center Planner, to calculate what I basically need. So, will I see the talent books here? Okay, so I'm gonna need some of these books, but I think it's more imperative that I actually farm her thing to get her to 90. So that's what we'll do. We'll actually fight the Electro-Hypostasis today. I think that's all we're gonna do today is fight Electro-Hypostasis. It should be fun. I don't know if the Electro-Hypostasis is gonna be too great for trying out my new damage, but it should be fine. Alright, let's see. Let's use a slightly different team. Okay, so we are gonna still use him and Jean with Bennett and Shengling.
I won't hold you back.
This team should be nice. Forgot when I'm supposed to fight this thing. It's been so long since I fought the Electro-Hypostasis. When does he become available to be hit? Okay, the damage is still nice.
Adventure time, let's light it up!
Yeah, it was a little sus. I think you could probably fight it a little quicker with, like, Hu Tao or something, but... Let me see. What if I just use, like... Cryo character? I mean, nah, this is fine, to be honest. Okay, let's, so I believe, like I mentioned on the stream last night, that the new event will not start until the 15th. So we do have a couple days before that actually goes live. So a couple days to, like, kind of just relax, re-catch up with things, figure out what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it. Like I said, primarily we're gonna try to level up Fischl next. That's our current goal. I'll tell you, I am no fan of fighting this guy.
Everybody stand back! As one with wind and cloud!
They already blew it.
Let's light it up! Wind strike! Wind, hear me! Nice and spicy! That's gonna hurt in the morning!
I'm a sucker.
I'm going in! Clouds high, the birds call!
I'd appreciate it if this guy would stop fucking disappearing on me.
You're toast! At the right! Wind strike!
Pretty easy to beat him though. Even though he's at least a little bit. Fighting the bosses is pretty okay as well, because we kind of get like a little of everything. We got a little bit of Mora, a little bit of Artifact EXP. It's really not a lot, but you know, it's something to start. Oh yeah. I don't know if I really want to just sit back and wait for this thing to respawn. Let's go over some of the things that we got as well. So, as you probably can imagine, I ended up getting C6 of all the relevant 4 stars from yesterday's banner. So that's C6 Ningguang, C6 Heizhou, and C6 Toma. I don't know what's the usefulness of Toma, but I'm sure we could use him in some way. I've been hearing that Heizhou is pretty good for a 4-star, so he might be fun to kind of mess around with as well. I'll have to think about how I plan to build him later on, like in the priority list. If he's gonna be another, like, elemental mastery type of animal character, then I'll really have to think about it, because I don't know if I can handle doing any more Viridescent Veneer domains, to be honest. Then C6 Ningguang, I don't know what we're gonna do with her. But I wanted to try to make her some type of battery character for my Ito. Because my Ito has no energy at all times. He never has energy. So let's take a look at... I can't stop looking at it. I know he doesn't have like super high crit stats, but you know, it was subsets that I had to forfeit if I wanted to get good ER. And mind you, still, this ER is just barely good enough because this Sans is weak. But as of right now, it's my best Sans. It's possible for like one of these to roll into energy recharge, but I think chances are unlikely. And I would need it to roll at least a couple extra times into energy recharge for me to consider replacing it. He's triple crowned. Some will say it's not worth it. I would probably agree if you were asking whether you should do it. I would tell you you probably shouldn't. But I'm still glad that I did. I could tell you it's not worth it. Just hear me now. Triple crowning him is not worth it. But because I love this character, I triple crowned him. It's just that simple. And I'm gonna hit the drill. And then activate this. Jeez, man.
Teamwork is dreamwork.
You see why I said Kazuha was so strong? Look at.
I swear by my sword.
Oops.
Go and splat.
You see all the damage he does? Bruh.
At the frying pan, into the fire. Eat.
Wind strike. Time to go.
God, Kazuha's so fun. I'm telling you, he's so fun. Hey, yo! I think I found my replacement off piece. We gotta try. We gotta take a look at this real quick. What a piece is that, huh? This just quite literally has to be... It has to be better than this. Yeah, it must be. Okay, well, much to my dismay, we are going to enhance this. I know it's going to cost a little bit of my Mora, but... Look at this. This is damn near a perfect artifact. It's all offensive stats. And with the opportunity, there's almost nothing that it rolls into that's bad here. Only attack. I would prefer energy recharge, but you know. He rolled into crit rate. It's honestly not a bad deal. Even if it rolls into crit rate. Nice, it went into energy recharge. That's ideal, in my opinion. What a solid artifact piece to randomly find, huh? We're getting some nice doubles, which is like 2-time bonuses. Even more crit rate for whatever reason. This artifact piece is looking pretty good, I'm not gonna hold you. Who would have thought we were gonna find a damn near perfect replacement? And it went into energy research even more. Now, who would have thought? Okay, now we gotta look at him even again. Now he's at 182, so that's like 10 ER over what he was. And he's got crit rate now? God damn it, man. He's so strong. We didn't lose too much more, did we? 3.3. I don't remember how much we had, so I'll assume that we didn't lose any more. Oh my god, he got even better? Even after all we've gotten him, he still got better? I can't even believe it. I cannot believe it. He's so big and strong. When I tell you that it was 100% worth the wait for this amazing Chad of a character, know that I'm not lying. Oh, he went for the punch?
I'm going in.
As one with wind and cloud.
Off we go. Ow.
Wind strike.
Barbados, guide us. Adventure time. Let's light it. Let's play. Everybody stand back.
Yo, he just
Nice and spicy.
beat me up. Okay, that's the last of the resin for today. We got 10 done. So if we're similarly lucky, then we can have Fischl to level 90 by tomorrow. Which is pretty nice to start. Let's collect that. Let's see, what is there actually left to do? Okay, let's go... No, we'll do the commissions first. Which I'll do the commissions with this team. Yeah, this will be fun.
Follow the wind.
Here comes the catch.
Easy.
Quietly now.
Okay, let's run to this commission. Just speed run the commissions, and then we'll try to do some of the battle pass related stuff. I'm still just not sure if I should use Serpent Spine for Beto or
Shine down. Gotcha.
That's what I'm a little concerned with. If I use Serpent Spine, then it's whatever. I'm probably gonna buy the Battle Pass pretty soon. It's just a matter of, you know, like I was saying, whether I go to the Battle Pass or buy the Battle Pass or not, I need to figure out what it is that I'm gonna do with it. With the level 30 weapon. As of right now, my main contender is Beto, but I don't know.
Wind strike. Clouds high. The birds call. The wind knows it.
Quietly now.
The wind knows me. Man, that feels so goddamn good, dude. Even with the extra 10% energy recharge we just got him, he feels even better.
Time to go.
There is no escape.
Poor Eye of the Storm, he's not even not even gonna last. Where's the last commission? We surely haven't done them all, so we're... Oh, there it is. I love Kazuha, bro. Well worth it. And like I said, don't you forget. I'm sure you already saw it, but he is C2. C2, triple crown, level 90, damn near perfect artifacts. Could I ask for anything more?
Shine down.
One with nature. As one with wind and cloud. Wind strike.
Oh my goodness.
Time to go.
That almost gets him his whole burst back. Isn't that crazy? God damn. And if I could have had him with even more ER somehow, that implies that he could have his ult back? That's crazy to me. Let's craft 20 of these just to get the weekly out of the way. And then we'll get the rocks from here, which should
Thank you for
contribute to that as well.
badass tr-
Run those in. It's not much, but it's honest Mora. Forge some of these. Is that even going to be enough? Well, it looks like kinda. We need to complete more ley lines and do requests and bounties. Let's go do teapot related stuff real quick. I'm sure at some point we have to go farm out teapot or woods for the teapot. I think we farmed some just for like some basic stuff so that we could craft. Because at this point we're only really crafting for weekly stuff. Let's create these, so we need to only create 5 more. Let's see what's the easiest thing to craft. It looks really easy. Oh, this looks easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, we could just come back for it tomorrow. But who the hell cares? I have so many of these potions, we'll just finish this now. I guess let's filter these by rarity. That's possible, correct? Just the cheapest stuff I can possibly get. I like one of these. That's cheap. Let's look at the round depot. Let's look at the stuff to buy. We definitely should buy some of this, but we don't have enough. We're spending a bit too much of this stuff and not getting it back quickly. So it has 20 per hour with the maximum of 2200, so that's what you just divide that by 20, so 110 hours. What is that, like every 4 days more or less? 5 days, once a week? Beats the hell out of me. What does this mean? Is there a better way to farm out this stuff? The whatever this currency is called? Because right now I just have this island set up with a bunch of walls. Because when the teapot was first coming out, that's what everybody suggested was the best way to farm this stuff up. But what's your consensus?
If you ever
Am I to assume that that's still the case? That that's still the best way to do it?
Time to go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have those. Is that better? That's these weeklies done. Let's go. We might as well go complete 2 ley lines, even though we're not going to collect them. Just because we're so close to done with the weekly for it.
There is no escape.
So many regrets. Wind strike.
That was interesting.
Shine down. Gotcha.
Fallen leaves. Adorn my night. Wind strike.
I kind of knew that that was gonna happen. I kind of knew those explosions were gonna take Kazuha out, but I still had to try.
Treasure. There is no escape.
And then we'll just do this Leyland real quick. And like I said, just to knock it out.
Shine down.
One with wind and cloud. The wind knows me.
I swear by my sword. Go as planned.
Alright, I didn't mean to click on you. So that should be that weekly done. We're pretty close to being done with that one. I just need to wait until all those things forge. Let's do the requests and bounties. Which, like I've mentioned before, I always prefer doing them in Kamisato Estate. Because the bounties aren't so ridiculous there, where you have to go do the whole finding the trail and finding them and all that. The bounties in Inazuma are just already found. They're already located. You just go fight them. Have heard about me. Take care of this guy. There he is.
Wind strike. Clouds high. The birds call.
Now you shall perish.
Good God. Raiden Shogun's damage is nasty in Kazuha's ult. I guess he did have lowered electro resist. Invulnerable to pyro. Let's go try this guy out. He's the maximum difficulty one, but because Kazuha's so strong, I doubt it'll be an issue. You don't understand how cracked my Kazuha is. I wouldn't say that I have one of the best Kazuhas, but I think my Kazuha's pretty damn good. Right? Can anybody deny me that sentiment?
Here comes the catch. Take it easy.
As one with wind and cloud, one with nature.
Wind, hear me.
Oh yeah. That was a bit easy.
Time to go.
Oh, I should have been keeping Jean in her own. Hey, it just took me slightly longer than I thought because I couldn't tell if my Kazuha had his burst or not. Okay, another bounty done. Nice. So we might need this eventually. Eventually. Invulnerable to animo damage. Well, I'll have you know I'm still going to use animo characters because even though the swirl might be resisted, the infusion won't be. Let's find this guy. It says I see him, but where the hell? Oh, there he is.
There is no escape.
It's my lucky day.
Busted. Game's up. Plan's over.
Clouds high. The birds come.
Wind strike. Torn to oblivion.
Oh my god, dude. Insane or what? Worth every penny? I think so. A year's worth of saving for him. Well, give or take. Like I said, I rolled a little bit on Ito and Yelan, so it is what it is. If I saved those, I probably would have had an easier time getting Kazuha. But then I wouldn't have Ito and Yelan, and those are two of my most valuable units, so I'm glad that I got them. Okay. Do the Hilichurl Hullablue. Kazuha makes content so trivial. Like what?
Quietly now.
The wind knows me. Falling leaves. Adorn my night. Time to go.
Look at that. Everything dies so fast. It's so easy. He's so fantastic of a unit. And he's so much fun to play. His rotation feels so smooth. It just makes so much sense.
Illusion shattered. Gotcha. Here comes the catch.
Wind strike. Clouds high. The birds come.
I swear by my sword.
One with wind and cloud.
Game's up.
I don't know what the hell's going on here. It feels so good. Okay. Which one of these is one of the requests? This feels like a request quest. A request?
Time to go.
Shine down.
Quietly. One with nature. Wind strike.
There is no escape.
So much damage.
A chest full of valuables.
And I don't kill them too fast because I'm just holding back. I'm just refusing to use my burst. You going, little electro Sealy?
Time to go. The wind knows me. A fateful offering.
Very nice. Oops, that was a waste of time. You see how easy it is to maneuver with him? And just everything in general? God damn it. Who is it? Who's the guy who wants my mint? Here's some mint. Good day to you. Let me see about collecting this Electroculus, wherever it is. Okay, so whenever there's a height thing, there's actually a way I can cheese it. That involves these 3 units. Watch. Oh. Well, I reached it anyways, but even if I wasn't able to, I could do this, and then that, to just truly get some absolutely crazy height. Okay, and then lastly... Oh, this is probably the last request. I'm in love with Kazuha. My Kazuha is so strong. Again, I know he doesn't have Freedom Sworn and all this, which I'm sure if I had it with Freedom Sworn, he would be unparalleled. He would be among the top Kazuhas at that point. Especially with these substats. I think these substats are absolutely nuts.
Illusion shattered. Here comes the catch.
One with nature. Clouds high. Birds call. Time to go.
God damn it, dude. They die so fast. Bro. Kazuha's nasty. Isn't he so strong? I think so. I think he's almost too strong for no great reason. Okay, that's 2 more weeklies done. Let's cash those in. And we can finally start regaining some fragile resins. much needed fragile resins. And with these fragile resins, we can kind of speed along. Well, I think I'm going to start holding on to these fragile resins until Sumeru comes out. That way, if we need to do any Sumeru-related content, we could go ahead and speed that along. And be, like, up to code with it, I guess. Let's see, is there anything else that needs doing today? Hardly looks like it. I don't have, like, a great idea on teams to showcase Kazuha's true strength, though. Like, I've just been farming this overworld stuff, so... just so that you could kind of see how amazing he is. You can watch this. You see that? Oh my god. Is that fair? I just did an E-plunge, and they died. Oh, I missed a crab.
Compared to the storms I've encountered out at sea.
I know some of it comes down to how well built my Raiden Shogun is as well. Which I feel is only natural, because you know, my Raiden Shogun is strong.
Shine down.
Into the wind.
Wow. I'm having so much fun with Kazuha. It feels so consistent. That's the difference I see between him and like Shao and Venti. Is they feel consistent, which is a big deal to me. Damn near deal breaker, if I had to say. Let's see. Is there anything? Let me see if I have any more sigils to turn in. I think we just turned some in the other day, so I'm gonna imagine that there's not much to turn in. But we'll just double check. Oh, we actually did have enough to turn in, so that's good. That gives us some more Mora. And we're close to getting a free crown from this, so one more and we get a free crown, which is nice because, you know, I just spent 3 crowns on Kazuha. Not that I know if I'm going to crown any other units in the near future, because, I mean, geez, crowning units is fucking expensive. That's where most of my Kazuha's, like, Mora demands drained me from. Almost all of the cost was from the talents going from Triple Crown. That cost me 7.7 million more to Triple Crown Kazuha, essentially. Nice. Okay, let's maybe do his world quest now. That should be fun. After that, after all that cost, now I'm debating, like, if I should take any of my other units past just, like, level 6 talents. Like, maybe, like, level 6 talents is probably good enough. For most cases, of course.
It's been a while since we first set foot on Inazuma.
It has been a while.
So many things have happened since then. Yeah, we've definitely made some progress on our journey. So, where should we go today? Huh?
Who exactly do you think you are?
What the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? Alright, let's convince him to calm down a little.
Barbados, guide us.
Oh yeah, you weren't ready for that work.
So you don't have a vision after all. Seems like I've mistaken you for someone else.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the right person before you go attacking them.
That's true.
Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go attacking them out of the blue. It's dangerous.
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kazuha? He carries a
Yes.
sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animal vision. That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
And what's your business, sir?
This guy's problem. Coming around here, waving that weird sword in our faces, and he didn't even apologize. Seems like a real nutcase.
That looks like it's the event sword, to be honest.
No way are we telling him anything about Kazuha. Right? Paimon has a feeling, though, that even if this guy gets to challenge Kazuha to a duel, he won't be able to beat him. Anyway,
I just proved
let's
that.
be on the safe side. We should go fight Kazuha right away and tell him to watch his back. Oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean beyond already knowing each other? Yeah. Maybe a little. But then again, most people look pretty much the same once they start fighting, so that doesn't really prove anything. Anyway, there's no time to lose. Let's go tell Kazuha so we won't get into any danger. Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look for him there.
Crux fleet. So Beto's here. Oh, Beto, I love you, Beto. Okay, I know Rito's up here. Now that I've more or less familiarized myself with the locations of Inazuma. Finally, after a year's time being here.
Time to go.
Hey! Hello? Do you know where Kazuha is?
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all.
Why?
Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge crowd of Inazumans, all of them wanting to know about Kazuha. If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just laughs it off.
Oh, so you still don't know what he did?
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his newfound stardom is well
I
deserved.
mean, there's some reason to believe it's even greater than that, because I don't know what's the beast. What was that, like a giant whale or something? Or giant something like that? That Beto took out? Or the Kraken or something like that? I don't remember who the hell that creature was that she took out. But Raiden Shogun's a literal god. Isn't that a
He was called
little
way earlier by
step
some people
above?
from the Tenryo Commission. They said they had something important to discuss with him. I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable. Thank you. Guess we'll...
All right then. I'll just stay here and carry on trying to fend off the crowd.
Okay, so we gotta go look for him at the Tenryo Commission. That's deep in Inazuma, that's the whole other side of it. I've come looking for Kazuha. Kaidehara Kazuha. Hello, it's me.
Oh? It's you.
Yeah, it's me.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt Decree. Since you're here, you're very welcome to listen in on the conversation. We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the Shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful.
This guy plays a huge part in the Inazuma storyline,
The
huh?
Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the years. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaidahara name. Regarding the history of the Kaidahara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat informed?
I don't want to say I forget because that
In
would be
short,
kind of rude.
There was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty Shogun. The Kaidahara clan belonged to this class, but there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaidahara and
Snezhnaya?
Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight and entered a period of great turmoil. We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaidahara clans was neither proper nor just. Considering Mr. Kaidahara has once more
How
made
long
an
have the
outstanding
Fatui been
contribution to
mingling in
the
things?
Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his
Meddling.
achievements, but also receive recompense for the excessive punishment borne by his clan in the past. In the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into these matters. We trust you can understand why this was necessary.
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the Almighty Shogun and the Shogunate
Feels
at
like he's got a
large.
decline.
However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture does not come without some strings attached?
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past injustice. With the Kaidahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaidaharas will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will finally come to an end.
It's like, but dude, I want to wander though.
You will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full support of the Shogun.
Kazuha's not gonna like
I
that.
have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately abode. Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaidahara, and the art of blade making for which it stood.
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace will disappear.
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so much praise that we almost wondered whether there was another Kaidahara Kazuha in town.
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaidahara really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaidahara Kazuha was using a delusion began to spread.
Yeah.
What? But that doesn't make sense. Using a delusion turns you old and frail. And
That's really only the
Kazuha's
case, or I think it affects our lesson to vision holders,
That is
correct?
However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a more inconceivable notion still.
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion, no matter whether it brings suspicion or stardom my way. But perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this situation will blow over more quickly.
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit all of us.
Please allow me some time to consider.
It is
In
quite the
fact,
finicky
let us put
situation
this
he's in.
discussion on hold for the moment. Well then, what brings the two of you here?
Yikes! We nearly forgot about the most important thing!
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No. This puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family. based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through, so that each can be fairly assessed for quality. Over time, these techniques came to
Nice.
form something of a Kaidahara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of combat forms. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to imagine that the similarity you speak of was coincidence alone.
All the more reason to watch your back. This guy was a serious nutcase.
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at risk of serious injury, or worse.
In that case, I will send some men out immediately to search for him.
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter, and I will also need some time to consider your offer. I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who attacked her, then give you a conclusive answer upon my return.
Very well.
Okay.
Please stay safe.
You don't need to worry about me.
Let's go and track down your aggressor.
Yeah, let's go kick his ass.
The detective agency
We live an eye for an eye on these
knows about
streets.
what goes on in town.
Ooh, the detective agency. I know who we're gonna meet.
Let's see what Ryuji has to say.
We're gonna meet my boy. I don't know his full name, but I know his name's Heijo. Whatever the hell his name is, I know it's at least Heijo. Right? Tell me we're gonna meet him. We're about to meet Heijo. I can already tell.
Hey there, we'd like to ask you a quick question. Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him? For Kaidahara Kazuha, we mean.
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaidehara. I've heard a lot about you. It is an honor to finally meet you today.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can offer.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Let me think. I can't seem to recall anything of immediate interest. Mr. Kaidehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always a lot of people looking for him. To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to obtain Mr. Kaidehara's personal information. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate commissions, Sango would have snapped them up in an instant.
What's illegitimate about him?
Millions of Mora? Whoa. Oh, wait. Even at that price, you probably still shouldn't.
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my privacy.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing details of other people's day-to-day life just for the sake of it. Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, it doesn't surprise me that a complete stranger is looking for Mr. Kaidehara. But I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this with an assault.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks or similar incidents recently that stand out as particularly unusual? The Tenryou Commission had very few leads, and I thought you might have some information from different sources.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, it's only the most trivial events that manage to escape their attention. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault, in which case the Tenryou Commission would absolutely get involved.
That does make sense. Uh-oh.
Does make
Looks
sense.
like the trail's already run cold.
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people
It's also
possess
quite
your
hard to
prowess in
believe.
battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now. I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm quite relieved that you were the one he targeted. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured or lose their life because of me. For the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless crime.
Don't worry, we'll find him.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaidehara. Surely this same concern for your fellow man is what drove you to fearlessly raise your blade against the almighty
You flatter me. Truth be told, I don't know quite what came over me.
The
in
power
that
of
moment.
friendship, baby. That's what came over you.
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand your concerns. I will try my best to gather whatever leads I can for you. Oh, actually, there was one strange incident over the last few days. It doesn't involve an attack, though. Let me
But you
tell
could
you about
have
it just in
threw this
case.
out for us just a little earlier.
Sure. During times like this, the more information we have, the better.
All right then. Recently, 2 people went missing from the city at around the same time. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
Amenoma clan. Sounds familiar.
Amenoma. Now there's a familiar name.
True.
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amenoma Smithy.
Oh, see.
2 grown men going missing at the same time. Their cases are likely connected, but I don't know much in the way of details. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is the one you are looking
Oh,
for.
I see. Maybe he is the one who's
Understood.
the assailant.
Though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea why he may wish to attack me.
Sure, can't hurt. We never know what we might find out along the way.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making some inquiries at the Amenoma Smithy.
Sounds good. All the best with your investigation.
Okay. Let's go to the smithy then. Hey, old timer. How the hell did I read the board?
Ah, if it isn't Kaedehara Kazuha. What brings you here today?
Huh? You two know each other?
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links between the 2 clans. After I returned
See,
to
I guess that
Inazuma,
makes sense.
I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects. Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed bladesmithing arts in Inazuma. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty Shogun, and over time, further honed and enhanced by the most talented craftsmen. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan has kept its art alive.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our specialties. And just as iron sharpens iron, so too did we learn much from each other. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water as it turns stone to sand. There is nothing
Such imagery in their
mystical to our
words.
work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life. As for the art of the Kaedehara clan, I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the Kaedehara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues
Hopefully
are
not any
alive.
longer.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryou Commission, but I haven't heard anything back so far. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it, but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryou Commission.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken out at the warehouse, and neither of them came back. Yes.
Fire.
Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind, so nobody knows what really happened.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of the sword.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Yuya is not that kind of person. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind. He has never gotten into a fight before.
Is that so?
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a very good reason. But, with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear, with neither farewell nor fair warning. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or otherwise compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to me. Anyway, should you find him, please let me know as soon as possible.
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Hyman doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato house.
Nagato house. Okay, I'm not gonna hold you. This story's kind of losing me a bit here. I'm kind of not super interested in this mystery case. That's my fault. That's my own cynic attitude shining through. We just wash it out. Okay,
I'm
Nagato
very sorry,
house.
but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's gone?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For
I
example,
really thought we were gonna meet
I'm
Heijo.
struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. Ever since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married. But as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh. What happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons, even as debt collectors were descending
Interesting.
upon our house.
It's
He wouldn't
definitely
sell
suspicious
them,
behavior.
wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listened. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making to me. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, he awkwardly mumbled that he would pick out a few items to sell. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. Amin Omayuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse, and both men disappeared.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price, but my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family, and I want us to face our family's crisis together. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period.
Good
The
insight.
information we gathered from the other side suggests Amin Omayuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation is getting...
You're
a little
telling me I'm
confusing.
completely fucking lost.
A little confusing. More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery, and rest assured, we'll notify...
Thank you so much.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was... The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation... Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
An interesting explanation. I was also considering this possibility. Amin Omayuya is an expert on swords. He could have noticed some problematic details about Mr. Nagato's collectibles. Maybe he recognized a blade as a fake, or a well-known stolen item. Either way, after arguing about it, the two men agreed to hide the truth of this matter. They thought a fire would destroy everything. But then the Tenryo Commission began investigating and uncovered some incriminating details, so they fled to protect their secrets. But it's a far-fetched theory. I can't imagine how they would have been able to reach an agreement. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amin Omayuya is polite and well-mannered. while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive. Neither seems like the type of person who is inclined towards initiating conflict. Mr. Nagato,
True.
being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have happened there? Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together. Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma art, not those of the combat-oriented Ishino.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's keep going. Since we've come this far, if we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay.
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance.
Let's check out the warehouse. I'm sure once we do the warehouse stuff, this is gonna start picking up. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm kind of a bit bored right now.
Wait. I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. The remnants of the Tatarigami. Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant.
Because one of them's possessed.
Slowly.
Possessed by a Kaidahara member.
So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy
Gonna
has
be
long
his
since
friend,
left this
huh?
place. But the residue it left behind still hasn't dissipated completely. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that. From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters, but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled will. Their interests become fanatical obsession. Mr. Nagato
Okay,
had an
that starts
interest
to
in
explain it.
collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions, even as he put himself in grave debt.
So what should we do now? Go down and take a look?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside. If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to... You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this. Relatively speaking, the risk here is trivial.
I need to be right back. Okay, and back.
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the warehouse boogeyman was about to jump out at us!
Oh, Paimon. No. Still in the rampage.
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy source left this place.
The Tatarigami energy source left this
Two
place.
ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear much misfortune has already befallen them. Yes, let's go. If nothing else, it's vital that we find out where this Tatarigami energy is coming from. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps you too will perceive its ominous.
I'm just gonna do elemental sight, huh? No.
From this point, the trail appears to split into two. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here, and seems... quite possibly. Let's search the area.
Let's search the area.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely!
Something seems to be drawing our attention. Let's take a closer look.
It's...
Look at this red
It's...
stuff!
By the looks of it, a letter, written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is bone dry. It must have been written quite some time ago. Well, let's take a look.
Damn.
According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya wanted to seize a blade belonging to Mr. Nagato. Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopping here to write this letter when his strength gave out.
Acclaimed.
So,
Acclaimedly.
where is he?
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura seems to have attracted a horde of monsters, and I'm afraid he may no longer be with us.
Don't you say that? Don't you say that?
Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. There's nothing more for us to find here. Yes. Right now, we need to uncover some more important truths. If Amenoma Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him, the more people risk meeting the same tragic end.
Right! So let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the influence of the Tatarigami. For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would be their pursuit of further power and skill. All the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected. It seems that now we know the thread that runs between them. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not only explains the series of events leading to the two men's disappearance, but also zeroes in on the attacker's identity.
Go on.
Wait,
Do tell.
you figured it out? So these two cases are connected after all?
Do tell, do tell.
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. I will only be able to confirm my suspicions once we've met him in person. On with the search. We must stay vigilant.
Must stay vigilant. Like the vigilant Yaksha. Want uppies? Take me up, please. Bing bang. Chewie. There's some Electroculus here.
He seems to have stayed here for a long time.
Why here? Is there anything special about this place?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time. Show yourself! It's no use hiding anymore.
Kaidehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from before. What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame no Meyuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Ame no Meyuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light. Whoa, whoa! Surely you don't mean...
Possession!
Are you
He's possessed! He's a goddamn ghost!
Origami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organisms in its vicinity. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, and more recently using the sale as a means to affect, or rather as a means to occupy, Ame no Meyuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of the matter. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he placed all his hopes and dreams. As a descendant of the Kaidehara clan, you should be able to guess our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea on a ship bound for Snezhnaya. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little faith. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, his wisdom, his skill, he not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own.
A thinking sword?
In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade forging.
So, swords can become conscious and control people?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one, but in all other respects an ordinary weapon.
So how did you gain consciousness, friend?
But that gave me the opportunity to take action. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I controlled the minds of countless hosts along the way, each bringing me one step closer to my ancestral home. I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power, the might of Ishin
So he wants to
Art.
go at the writing show. He's angry at her, and he
So
heard that
Amenome
he was
is
able
not
to
your
stand up
first
to her.
victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've finished using them?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to Inazuma.
You're awful.
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Amenoma Yuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's body, I have found you, and by your hand, I shall defeat the Raiden Shogun. Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to serve as my host for what is to come. Now, give your body over to me!
Nope, can't do it, sir. Oh wait, they replaced my Kazuha with this shit Kazuha.
Here comes the cash.
Really?
Join me and summon that divine light!
Wind, hear me.
Rewrite history!
Inazuma shines eternal.
You don't like writing Shogun? Well, I'm gonna let her kick your ass.
Do not stand in my way, or I will strike you down too!
Your bluff's fooling no one. You've lost.
Lost? I can never lose. It is this body that has reached its limit, nothing more. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this man. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. The end result is the same. I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger. And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small setback. My consciousness shall endure by any means necessary and any medium available. I shall return and
He's one
fulfill
determined sword.
my-
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art, but from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Amenoma Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin Art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner, now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. You were trapped. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new host without making physical contact.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Amenoma Yuya and make your escape.
And what of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair in you that is so strong it threatens to overwhelm you. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you to bear. Each step you have taken has come at a great cost. I think you realized your limitations long ago. the more you clenched your teeth
You don't have
and
any
pressed
teeth.
forward,
He's
the
a sword.
greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew, and the more you wished to run from the truth. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a delusional fantasy.
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal.
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities and showed a blatant disregard for human life, even if you were to sever that divine light. Is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired? Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated the ones who wielded you as mere tools to do your bidding. How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony between a blade and its bearer?
Silence, you blabbering fool! I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream, and the very purpose for which I was brought into being. I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly. But you also underestimate my resolve.
I don't think he
And
does.
you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me nothing. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self-reflection, and certainly not your so-called reality. It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaedahara clan. If you wish to save this man, then offer me your body in exchange.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet, and I will put your strength to the test.
What? Surely you're not...
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Amenoma Yuya from your control.
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. If we don't do this, he'll forever be the Blade's puppet. The Cursed Blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart is still not completely devoid of honor. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Amenoma Yuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should be able to put up some resistance for a while.
But even so...
I would be consumed by the Tatarigami so
If
fast.
things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too, now.
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will.
What should we do next?
We find some men. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash its true power. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it.
Wait a minute. Paimon remembers hearing about something from the Adventurers Guild. Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by Ronin ever since.
Ah, all right. Please lead the way.
What about Amenoma Yuya?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained...
Are we sure this is a good idea? Okay, fine.
Ooh, right above the Kamisato estate.
Only innocent children and timid adults are scared of thunder. But you're not either of those, are you?
A little domain. Please let me get to use my own Kazuha. I don't want to use their Kazuha. Please, I want to use mine. Please. Please. No.
Leave everything on this journey to me.
There's more! How's this? The fairy. It's a lucky day.
Clouds high. The birds come.
Okay. It's not too bad.
How are you feeling? You okay?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult to use. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, he is instead trying to match my fighting rhythm. Let's keep going.
Chest. Are there any other chests? Let me quickly run through and see. It doesn't look like it. Kaidehara Kazuha.
Let's get down to business. There's more! See no more! My blade knows.
It's so funny watching them just float down.
Let's get down to business.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
Fallen leaves.
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to Amanome Yuya?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's still trying to achieve his goal.
The treasure chests? Doesn't look like it. Always make sure we observe carefully. We don't want to lose out on any treasures.
Clouds high. The birds come.
I gotta be doing this is kind of boring with just Kazuha.
Struggling the entire fight!
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as it did at the start.
Perhaps this time we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you talking? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk!
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield commendable power. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor the only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
There they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can help.
Don't worry. I'll use my own blade. It's just...
Lucky day.
one with nature.
So now am I gonna mess him up for sure?
The wind knows.
I mean, it still feels good, but this is not like insanely better or anything.
As one with wind and cloud.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me for who I really am. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. You are the first person to know the truth. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a ray of hope for me.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise my true appearance behind an outer sheen. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is. Perhaps I shall never reach that level of glory.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue. Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, I received aid from another power. Skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin art. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and savagery. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly trying to seize control.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is an integral part of my consciousness.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I do not know whether you yourself have any intention of trying to fight it. I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination you were destined never to reach. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. And yet there was no way for you to turn your back on his ambition. You have known this for a long time.
It's a compelling story.
It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my consciousness, and purpose. How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, "Do not worry. From here on, I shall forge your legacy." How could I go back on my word?
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to say.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect on things.
Just really spitting facts out here, huh? How you doing, beautiful?
When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. It was somewhere I've never been. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final words.
Wow. That was the Blade's memory, wasn't it?
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. The Ishin art had been dealt a devastating blow by the desertion of its best smiths. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his actions. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land of his birth. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. But he never wished to rival the gods. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith, that they were still worthy of being trusted.
So that's the truce. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were worked by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. The hatred within that power is what sent the blade down its ill-fated path. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. No one was there to correct its errors when it was losing its way. Yes. It is time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleeting moment at the dawn of his journey. He seems to have calmed down, though.
Hey, friend. Are you still Ingi?
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging like it was just yesterday. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me the gift of consciousness. But darkness and slaughter numbed the mind. Over time, I lost sight of the difference between gratitude and grudge. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition, I also defiled it.
You are finally seeing reality clear.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, but I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire purpose for my existence. So, may I ask you...
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too? Jeez, don't push your luck, mister.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Ame no Mayuya as promised. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has grown a lot milder. What do you think, Kazuha? Should we give him a chance?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He told me that he had wanted me. Alas, after that, he never rose from his sickbed again. Nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle since. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey. The next in a long line of transgressions.
You could almost feel bad for him, even though he's just a sword.
You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle and experience a true duel between samurai.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Ame no Mayuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you can convince him to commit to a fight with you. He must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire a good fight.
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has the stamina and will to fight.
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of honor. If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing to put myself forward. I do not wish to be a mere victim in this.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Terrio Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention.
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of ceremony.
Ooh, one of the big chests. Let's go, baby. A precious chest for all of our hard work. And we get to start collecting Primo Gems for Sumeru. Okay, so let's... We're gonna duel here. I was thinking he would want us to duel in the Raiden Shogun's home. I don't know how he would have been able to have those connects, but... I don't know. Maybe him and the Shogun are homies now. I don't know.
Take it easy.
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still can't let our guard down, even now. Still, even if he's way past the point of redemption, are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin art, Kaedahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma art, Amenome Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
Wind strike!
Welcome back.
Wind strike!
Just you wait till I can use my burst.
Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds call. Time to go.
Okay. Not bad.
Thank you, although he appears battered and broken. In your hands, it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away. But that's...
You also fought well. There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you himself.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victim's behalf. It is too late for all of...
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone, and not let them stain the legacy of Ishin art. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has a worthy successor in Kaedahara Kazuha. I beseech you, please understand this.
Yes. I too trust Mr. Kaedahara to do the right thing.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma art.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like to visit the Amenoma smithy. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to go
I'm not sure, but I think that all this is about to come to an end.
For some reason, I really thought we were gonna meet Heijun. Oh well. We'll see if this actually is coming there. Can I teleport me there? Oh my god. Bruh. It's clicking everything but the goddamn waypoint.
It's Yuya!
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all
That's true, it is all thanks to us.
A prized Ishin blade. Turned weapon that controls the human mind. Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the realm of possibility. This is a great pity, but I have some good news as well. Ryuji from the Bantan Sango Detective Agency tells me that they've found the missing Mr. Nagato.
Really?
Yes, badly. And now that Yuya is back, it seems like the final ending to this story is a happy one after all.
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering in your ear again?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment.
What? No way!
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And I have decided to let him do it. Thank you. I will explain my reasons later. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin. Please, stay true to your promise.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, buddy.
So, that's why he said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilling the bladesmith's wish.
Kagotsurube Ishin.
Kagotsurube
It
Ishin.
was the first. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bury this name deep within his heart. Only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to another.
Seems like he really, really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled the stubborn determination that blinded him to the path.
It's a pretty good story for a sentient sword.
Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them. I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. I've always been captivated by grand aspiration. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me. Just as the sight of those who fought to repeal the Vision Hunt decree did. Your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same way. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me a little more than they should.
Oh,
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance whenever you need it.
wait. Shouldn't we also go update Kujo Kamaji?
Oh, you're right. We need to tell him about the findings of our investigation, and it's also time to give him a response to the offer he made me.
And what's the offer? I don't know. What is it? 10 real commission. Where the hell's that 10 real commission? Ah, yes. Over here.
You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. Though this was a treacherous investigation indeed, we're most fortunate that no lives were lost. The Tenryuan
Very
Commission's
fortunate
already
indeed.
attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanoma Yuya should conclude soon. I do not believe he will be charged with any crime.
Wow, you sure kept...
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin. A weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaidahara clan. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to study and pass on the secrets of Ishin art. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations, learning more about this blade as I go.
I see. I understand.
The Kaidahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue on this path. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya. That would not suit me.
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our intent.
I am aware, but I still desire to continue walking my own path.
Very well, I can understand. Then let's pretend this offer was never raised. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the Shogunate's assistance, please do not hesitate to inform me.
Great. Thank you for your generosity.
Where will you travel to next, Kazuha?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
Oh, the wind. That's the end of that. I'm guessing I get to keep the sword. Kagotsurube Ishin. And last I heard, the sword was kind of cheeks, right? Because its attack percent. I'm sure it's usable for somebody, but I don't know who that somebody is. Ooh, can't even be refined. Yeah, I mean, it does look kind of cheeks. Oh well, it is what it is. That was a fun little story. I must admit to you, the beginning of it was a little slow. For my taste, anyways. Oh, Heijo has a story here. I still have to complete other people's stories, though. I'm still technically not even done with Beto's story. But I suppose we'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a fine day to do it, because we're going to be... It's going to be perfectly in between doing... or as a transitional day between no event to event, because tomorrow should be the last filler day, and then the 2.8 event should start, the official event, and that's what we're really looking forward to. That's where all the money's at. The big breadwinner is going to be right there. So we'll just kind of hold on and wait for that. I think we did enough for today. We've completed some of the weekly missions, a decent amount of them to start. We still have more to do, but these will be finished by tomorrow. At least this one and this one. Probably this one I'll finish sometime closer to the weekend. I don't know if I can complete this within how many days are left for the week. Seems a bit hard, but it's probably fine. Need to gain stars in the Spiral Abyss, but that's fairly easy. I'm just basically waiting for it to reset. It should be any day now. Yeah, in a few days. It should be reset, and then we could go ahead and run that again. Of course, we could always run it whenever we want. And it seems like we could run it fairly easily now that Kazuha's a part of the squad. Because I gotta tell you, he contributes to a hell of a lot of damage. Okay. Well, we'll end it there for today. I do have some considerations for you guys. I've been the reason I was just a tad bit late to stream today was because I've been kind of mindlessly playing Fire Emblem Three Houses on my Switch. Now, would you guys be interested in seeing that gameplay? I have not been recording it or streaming it at all, so if you would like to see that gameplay, we could make that a consideration. I'm open to that being a possibility. I've kind of been playing it, but also hesitant to play it to like get too far in case I do end up making that decision, in case we do end up wanting to see it on stream. I'm all for streaming it,
There are leaves around.
so long as that's something that you guys would like to see, of course. I don't want to bother wasting any time recording and streaming it if nobody's interested in seeing it, right? I know the new game's already out, Three Hopes, or I don't know if it's all the way out or close to out, but I wasn't really interested in looking at it too closely yet until I actually beat Three Houses. I've had Three Houses for kind of a while, but never got around to finishing it. So that's where we're at now. I kind of want to finish it, so if you guys are interested in seeing it, you know, reply in the comments down below. Let me know your interests in Three Houses, if you would be down to see it or not. I don't know, you know, let's figure that out. But that's the end of my announcements for now. We'll, of course, continue the tradition and do a Genshin Impact stream every single day. And we'll call it a wrap for now, huh? So this has been Maris Rey, Water Dragon Extraordinaire, and I'm always so glad for you guys to come out, and I'm always really appreciative of the fact that I get to stream to you guys. And that's that. Okay, so if you're new here, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel and like the stream. If you did like what you saw today and you'd like to see content similar to this, then ring the notification bell to be notified anytime I go live. And if you want to keep up with me on a more personal level, then follow me on my Twitter, link in the description down below, to be notified of any of my whimsical thoughts, my random short sightings, and any schedule updates. All right. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. This has been Maris Rey, and I'm out of here.
Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth.